Hello, my name is Calum Baird. I'm a singer-songwriter from Scotland, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my new EP, A View from the Notebooks. Over the summer, I noticed, and during lockdown especially, I noticed that my writing process began to change. Normally when I'm writing songs, I would write them on some notes on my phone, or maybe I would use some voice memos or scribble some notes down on some bits of paper here and there for me to pick up later on. But I noticed with having the time and space during lockdown, I became a bit more flexible with my writing, a bit more methodical. I was thinking about what I could add and some things I could take out. I usually have like a rigid idea in my head of how I want the song to sound, and I try to stick to that. But with this, I was able to be a bit more flexible in how I approached writing. And so when I was writing the songs for this EP, that was the process that I went through. I was a bit more methodical and took my time in putting it together. So I began writing the songs in July and was finished by about September with the songs and then started recording in around about October time. And given the COVID pandemic and the restrictions and lockdowns and so on, I wasn't able to work with any other musicians or sound engineers or producers to put this album together. So I learned to record properly, first and foremost, and then also learn to become my own producer. It's a useful skill to have, and ironically, even though like so many other musicians, I've lost quite a lot from lockdown and the COVID-19 pandemic, not being able to gig or go on tour and see other musicians and work with other musicians, but I have been able to learn another skill and have the time to learn another skill, which hopefully I should be able to use forevermore. So that's one thing that's come out of recording this EP. And the EP is a short EP. There's only 3 songs on there. The first one's called Ways of Being. The second one's called When the Tables Turn. And the third one's called Contemplating the Sunflowers. And when I was writing the songs, it was my intention to put them all out separately over a period of maybe 2 or 3 months. And when the songs were all recorded and completed, I listened to them back, and I liked the way that they flowed together. They all have similar moods, similar thoughts and ideas that reflect how I'm feeling and thinking personally, but they also have some thoughts, feelings, structures of feeling that you can find out there in the world right now that are reflected out in the world, I think. So I thought it'd be a shame to put these songs out separately and break all that up, so I decided to make an EP and keep them together. Now, this EP has an acoustic backdrop. A classic folk singer-songwriter aesthetic is maintained all the way throughout it, but I've also added in some guitar riffs on the electric guitar, which have a sort of country and blues feeling, and I've also got in there some keys and some ornamentation on there that gives the songs them a different feeling and a different dynamic and form of expression, whilst obviously maintaining the folk and singer-songwriter aesthetic that I use a lot in the songs that I write. All the music that's played on there is performed by myself because I've not been able to work with other musicians, as I said, and it's been quite interesting going through that process of not only being a songwriter but also thinking about what instruments to use and how to apply them and how to adjust them and make them work for the song rather than trying to shoehorn bits and pieces in just for the sake of it. And with the artwork as well, I've not been able to go out obviously and get headshots taken or a portrait taken or work with a photographer in any way, again because of the COVID-19 restrictions. And during lockdown, I began to draw and to paint just to give me something to do, and it was a bit therapeutic as well. And I got my painting to a point where I'm quite happy to use it as the artwork for my music. And so when I was thinking about what artwork I would use for this, I didn't want to, because the themes on the songs are alienation, internal contradictions, eternal external contradictions in an eternally contradicted world. Climate change features on there, and there's just general moods of introspection as well. And it would have been easy, I think, to do an artwork that was quite black and bleak and dark to look at, quite oppressive to look at. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to paint something that was colourful and dreamy and imagining, and something that captured the absurdities and the contradictions that I talk about in the colour that they appear to me, rather than a scariness and an oppressiveness. I wanted to show that as much as these things can be black and challenging, that there is still some beauty in the world, and I wanted to give the artwork a bit of expression as well, rather than let the songs do all the talking. So this EP and the artwork then gives the listener a view into my thoughts and feelings about the world outside, a view into how my songwriting process has shifted a little bit, a view into how my skills, how I've been sort of forced to upskill during lockdown and be a bit more sort of pragmatic to get round some of the restrictions and be able to keep working and producing music. And it's also gives the listener a view into where we are right now, where we're heading, where we've been, and what role art can play in reflecting our current situation. So yeah, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed hearing that. I hope you enjoyed listening to my writing process and my music making process, and please enjoy the EP when it comes out. Thank you.